Oh Lord, it's you guys again. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing all right, man.
Doing
Made it another
good, doing
week.
good.
Tonight we're going to have a good time because I got to put my 2 cents in at the end of everything. Uh, and you know what that entails. Um,
Yes, sir.
Tonight's going to be a good show. And the reason I think it's going to be a real good show is because a lot of trainers out there don't think voice tone matters or the word no matters. Well, we're going to talk about that tonight and why we think it matters. And it matters a lot. And especially to the clients. The clients have tried and tried and tried and tried and talked to their dog and talked to their dog. And maybe he just don't hear me. He doesn't hear my name. And hey, guys, help me out here. Let's have Margaret start this one off. What do you say?
Oh, oh, can I?
Hey, I know, are those your guitars or Christopher's?
It's Christopher's backdrop
I kind of like it.
on the green screen.
I could probably play a picture guitar. Go ahead,
So,
Margaret. Start this game off.
I here's one thing I got. You see that selective hearing? People say, "Oh, maybe he just doesn't hear me," giving their dog excuses, that kind of thing. No, you're just not saying it with authority. Okay. So, are we going to ask our dog to do things or are we going to tell our dogs to do things? It's like one way I put it in perspective for my clients is when you ask your kid to clean their room, do you say, "Hey, do you think you could clean your room for me because that would be swell?" Or do you say, "Listen, Buster, I need you to clean your room tonight or there's no TV."
Right.
Which way are you going to get a result?
Directly.
Yes, yes. So we run into those kind of things. I've run into Southern draw, like when I worked in North Carolina. I'm sure in Texas you get this, Brian, where it's not sit, it's see it.
Right.
And that sounds like a question,
Right.
right? So we want to be one syllable, direct, to the point, with your tone of voice. So whenever we talk to clients before we start a program, we'll say, listen, there's different tones of voice that you need to be aware of. The praise tone, which is your "Hi, Mickey Mouse, you're a good boy." Okay.
For octaves up here.
Yes, you need to be up there. And then the command tone, sit, down, that type of voice. What else you got, Brian?
I think that no goes right along with that same command tone, like it's not that the command is bad, it's that I need your attention. And I don't want to have to go any deeper or firmer with that no than what I have to. So I've always relied on the Teddy Roosevelt method, like somewhere in the beginning, somebody asked me, what kind of leader do you want to be? You want to be like Adolf Hitler to where you're just running around screaming like you're on speed and blitzkrieging everything? Or do you want to be like Teddy Roosevelt and be calm and cool? And what was it Teddy Roosevelt said? Walk softly and carry a big stick. I say that I speak softly. I'm not going to yell no. I'm going to lightly say no. But if I need to give a firm correction to get your attention, I want to do it that first time so that you learn right away that, hey, this guy isn't going to beg me to listen to him.
Yeah, even in, I know we talk about dog training schools, and Bob is like, but one thing they taught us in, I went to National Canine in Ohio, your neck of the woods in Columbus, and they said if you shouldn't even have to scream your voice with no or anything. If I'm standing there with a dog, I could sit, no. You have to get that, you have to have that aura sometimes. So when you say what you say, the correction tone, command tone, and praise tone, dogs know exactly what you're talking about. If you think about it, what do dogs have to communicate with each other?
Body language.
Yes. And the tone of their bark. They
Right.
don't have words. So we have to think like they do. We have to communicate like they do. What do you think, Bob?
I was sitting here listening very patiently.
Uh-oh.
The thing that I run across, and you guys do too, is people speak to their dog like they're talking to a person. And what I keep
Yes.
telling my clients, your dog hears your voice every day. You're saying no, like when your husband asks you, honey, can you make me a ham sandwich? And you say, no, we don't have any. The no's sound exactly the same. The dog is used to it. Honey, would you sit down over here? And they tell their dog in the same tone. The dog is oblivion to that tone. So, what I tell my customers, as far as the no, as far as the sit, as far as the down command, is that if you say down, well, shit, that down's 14 inches. But if you say down, now I want that down to be a quarter inch, you don't have to scream it. It's going to actually come out a little bit louder. If you say sit, sit, it automatically comes out a little sharper and it gets the dog's attention. Now let's go as far as what Brian said. He hit it right on the head. You can't tell your dog no, 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 and then call his name and tell him no again. And then you're calling his name and you're telling him no again. What people don't understand is when you call your dog's name, half the time you're trying to get your dog to come to you. So you're calling the dog's name, then you're telling him no. And it don't work that way. If you tell your dog no, now this is where I might piss off a couple trainers because I don't agree with it one bit. A lot of trainers will say, tell your dog no, and let's redirect that no with a treat because he's stopping what he's doing. You could say, nope, and the dog looks at you and you say, here's a cookie. Well, get that out of your head. Or here's a toy. The word no, there has to be some sort of correction, consequence, something related to that word no. Believe me, people, the word no will become magic. When you say, nope, man, that, I screwed up. And he's waiting. Okay, what do you want me to do? Always redirect through obedience. But when you say no, you got to give a correction with that no. The dog has to know that he screwed up. Am everybody following me here?
I am.
Brian, Margaret,
Yep.
does
Yes,
it make
sir.
sense to you?
It does.
All
Yes.
right. You know, I've went in people's houses and they tell their a matter of fact, I was just telling you two. I went to a lady's house. I hope she's listening. Um, that told me she's got a matter of fact, I think it's a Rhodesian red bone cross,
Interesting.
Okay.
but interesting cross. But they took it to a dog training school and they were going through classes. And the lady said, your dog cannot be trained. He's too hard headed. And you call yourself a professional dog trainer. The dog is hard headed. I said to myself, now I heard it all. Ma'am, let me have your dog. And
Right.
it's real simple. The dog listened to everything I said. And then I transferred it to the client, and the client couldn't believe it.
I think what really did it for me learning tone was having to train a dog in German. You know, there's something about saying 9 instead of saying no that is a little bit more grabs and holds on to you.
Right. Right. Well, even like a different language, you whether you're going to teach a dog French or you're going to teach a dog German or whatever, and the client say, "Well, my dog knows German, so no one else can tell my dog what to do." I said, "You could teach your dog English, and nobody better be able to tell your dog what to do."
Right.
Because what I do is toward the end, if they've been doing lesson, the dog is responding to the clients beautifully. Well, I'm the trainer. So I'll tell him, tell your dog sit. If I tell him down, they better correct that dog
Right.
because the client did not tell him down.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I use hand commands too, and the dogs will fall for those hand commands and that motion almost every time.
Right. Um, Voice tone, again, like this whole show is, I can't stress it enough. Voice tone is everything. I, I worked, excuse me, I worked a client's dog, had a border collie. Border collies, and y'all know this, they're smart as a whip.
Uh-huh.
This dog worked circles for me. And I had the owner, okay, make him sit. Make him stay in the middle of the living room. This dog broke every single time. And she was going, sit, no, come here,
And those long
no, come
nose.
back here, no. I said, now look it. All I want you to do is say a sharp no and tell him, stay, chop it. And she said, well, I can't yell at my dog all the time. I said, ma'am, you're not yelling. All I'm asking you to do is go from your soft, sweet no to no.
Man.
It automatically comes out louder. She did it one time, and the dog looked at her like, thank God you finally got it. You know,
The dog saluted.
the dog's attention went straight to her, you know, and I keep telling people consistency. There's 3 parts to consistency. It's getting your dog to perform the task. It's your corrections have to be the same every time, and your voice tone has to be the same. Now, after boot camp is over with your dog and he knows it, he knows what's expected, and he may respond to those little bit lighter cues. But if you notice, your dog's in ring sport, and that's exactly what it is, sport. Schutzen, French ring, IPO dogs, even police work dogs, military dogs. When they're around a lot of distractions, like in a arena where they do the ring sport or the Schutzen work or whatever, you don't hear them sit. They bark those commands because they have to get that dog's attention. The most well-trained dogs in the world are your military dogs, your Schutzen trained dogs, your French ring. Even though it's a sport dog,
Right.
those dogs are trained to the highest level.
There
And
wasn't
they may have started them with a cookie here and there, but other than that, they respond the first time they're asked. And they didn't do it by sit,
Right.
no. People, it's on you. And just like my last show, or our last show, I should say, excuse me, help us help you. If we tell you sharpen your voice, sharpen it. But you can't, and I've been in lessons, 1 minute they're doing great, and the next minute they go right back to sit. And they wonder why the dog didn't listen to them.
You can't put yourself on the same plane as your dog. Somebody has to be the leader in the household, and your dog wants you to be the leader in the household. So if you're up here and they're down there, that's a natural ranking. Don't put them up at the top of the totem pole to where they're above your children, they're equal to your spouse. Your dog is your dog, and we need to make sure that that dog is obedient.
That's exactly right. That's
Mhm.
exactly right. Now, like I was saying, as far as some of these other trainers, and you know, even if you're a new trainer out there, don't let your clients do what they want to do in that lesson. I went to a lesson the other day and I said, okay, guys, this is your fourth lesson. Work your dog for me. And I just sat there. And the lady grabbed the leash. And you know me, I come right out and said, what the hell are you doing? And she said, what? I'm trying to make him sit. I said, number one, you're going to hold the leash the way I taught you to hold. And then she right away, oh, and she put the leash back and she did well. I said, now take him over all the way through your kitchen, go to your front door, make him sit and stay. So she went over there and she's sit, sit, no, sit,
The
sit.
command word isn't
Wait. This
word.
is a good one. She actually said, well, I just don't know. He's just not doing it. I said, don't you dare try to give up on me. I said, now you just showed me what's happening in this house.
Yep.
You cannot give up. If you do it now, I said, shorten your leash, give him one good correction, and tell him, no, sit. And that dog did it. She said, stay, and walked away. I said, see, was that hard?
It's the correct application. It's a process, and you have to follow the process to a T. You know, no
How
shortcut.
many? I mean, how many times have we went to a lesson and the people just say, I just can't do this. I I I I just don't have it in me. He just won't listen to me. How many times?
We have to be those cheerleaders for our customers sometimes,
Exactly.
confidence that they can do it.
You you new trainers out there, get away from just getting the dog to do it for you. Concentrate on your clients. If you don't concentrate on your clients, you're in the wrong business. Stay at home and train your own dogs. That's just the way I look at it. I said it, I don't care. It's just like everybody think, oh man, I'm going to be a dog trainer. This is going to be fantastic. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I've been doing this 43 years. I love what I do. Actually, over 43 years, but
Help people.
but it not even as far as is helping people. What I'm getting at is a lot of these trainers, they go to school like Margaret did, and a lot of other trainers out there, and you think you're a dog trainer when you get out of that school. You're not a dog trainer till you've worked and worked and worked and tried to perfect what you're doing. Get away from going to YouTube and, well, this trainer said do this, this trainer said do that. Huh, I didn't learn that in school, so I'm going to try this. Well, I this might work. No, you learned from your school. If that's the only, let's say, if you don't have a mentor or a trainer that's been doing it 25, 30 years, okay, I don't care how many seminars you go to. If you don't have it, you don't have it. It takes a special person to become a professional dog trainer.
I think it took at least 1,000 dogs before I really felt comfortable.
Brian, when I worked with you, you were a pretty good trainer and you've got a hell of a lot better from what I've seen. All right. Margaret, same thing with you. I used to peek in on Margaret all the time. But everybody gets better, but you're only going to get better if you work at it and work at it and work at it. If you want to try a cookie, give a cookie. But the one thing you don't want to do, and listen, folks, I know. What did I say about consistency? If you're sitting next to a dog, and by the way, I'm going to put a video together on the proper way to teach a dog that knows nothing how to down without using a cookie and without pulling him downward.
Yeah,
I'm
I
going to
can
show you the
tell.
proper way to do it. That'll be on next week's show. But what I'm getting at is that if you try a down one way, don't try it 3 or 4 times using, let's say, X method and then say, this isn't working. So I'm going to try doing this. Well, that's not working. So I'm going to try doing this. You're screwing that dog's head up. If it takes 20 times to try to get that dog to lay down, then by God, it takes 20 times.
It takes a
But
lot
you
of
never,
patience.
you
It's the
never
hardest
give
command.
up.
It's the hardest command to teach a stubborn dog.
You know,
It's the most submissive position. Yep.
and this is going to be kind of strange, but it's my kind of philosophy. I look at a well-rounded trainer to being, I mean, musicians, they call themselves an artist. Painters call themselves an artist. But if you look at a well-rounded trainer and we're working with a dog that knows nothing. Some lessons I go into, the dog doesn't even know sit. He doesn't know down. He doesn't know no. So what do I have? I got a blank canvas.
Coloring book.
Mhm.
And that's a
And now I got to paint my picture to what I want it to look like.
Mhm.
And I will not give up until that picture is painted. And that's my philosophy of dog training.
right.
Now, if a lot of the trainers look at that, they'll have a whole different, regard to training dogs. We'd have a lot more accomplished dog trainers, let's say. But you get the trainers that they know what they got to do, but in a lesson they get lazy and they see the people aren't doing it right, but then and they're not stepping in and they're not helping the trainer. And it's like, I got my money. See you next week. Keep practicing. Man, don't be in this business just to get money. I don't train everybody's dog. I really don't. I may go to your house and say, no, ma'am, I'm not going to train your dog.
If I can't train the people, I can't train the dog.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Change the people, change the
yeah.
dog.
I was just talking to Christopher about, my website. A lot of people they'll have like in different businesses, you can just schedule your free appointment evaluation, schedule appointments with people, what have you. And I said, I don't want that because I want to make sure that it's worth for them to schedule me to come out for a free evaluation. Also, I'm not being mean, just worth my time and gas and everything and worth their time. I may get there and they may need a whole different type of trainer. I want to talk to them on the phone, get their story, what's going on with your dog. I might have to tell them, hey, I don't train aggressive dogs. I don't work with that type of dog. You need someone
Right.
like Bob, or Brian to work with that type of dog.
I asked for a video audition now. You show on video the problems you're having with your dog, and I'll decide whether I can help you or not.
Another way some of these trainers, the younger trainers, maybe they're not as experienced as far as going in and talking to the people. Make it a point to ask them or tell them if you're not going to be consistent and you're not going to be diligent in doing what I ask you to do not waste your money. It is not going to work. A good trainer will tell you that.
And on my
But the
contract, it
people,
says that too. You need to practice. You need to do your part.
Right.
but if you get the trainers to go in there, oh yeah, I can fix that. Yeah, we can fix that. Yeah, we'll do that.
Empty promises.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But I hope I didn't step on some trainer's toes out there. But
Whatever.
some of y'all, just don't do it.
I don't
Don't.
mind stepping on toes. There's a right way and a wrong way, and I think that we're all here to make people are doing things the right way.
Well, and the thing is, we're followed now by a couple different trainers. We are followed. Well, a matter of fact, one person, I put that video on there of me teaching a sit stay, and Brian seen it.
It's
The
great.
gentleman said, "Oh, old school." And I said, "Yeah, I'm too old to change my ways." And I said, "But it works." He goes, "Man, I trained from the early 70s too,
Man,
or the mid
you
70s."
you
And he
can't
says, "It's
fill
the best method."
dogs all the time, man.
Huh?
You can't just fill dogs up with cookies all the time. They're gonna get sick of that crap.
Well, and then
Mhm.
I even see trainer, here's a cookie. Or let's start walking. Right in the middle of a heel, you stop. You don't make the dog sit, but you're giving him a cookie. And he's just following the cookie. Get the dog to want to do it for you. Not you say sit
Yep.
and he's staring at your hand. He can you what you put in that dog's head was sit means I get a cookie. I don't care about you.
Right.
And what a lot of people don't like, but I tell it to them anyway. I said, "You think your dog loves you when he jumps up on the couch and he lays his head on you, and you think, oh, he wants loving." No, he's saying, "Hey, lady, scratch my head." And
Right.
you conditioned him for that.
Yeah.
Your dog may, or you may think your dog loves you, but
He's not.
does he respect you?
Right.
Mhm.
Half the time, no. Or he would do everything you said. And that's all I got for tonight.
I'll leave it there. I think you
Margaret?
so far.
Hey, just I tell people in lessons too, if there's more than one person in the household, I'm like, y'all help each other out. You know,
Yep.
if they're not using the right tone of voice, tell them. You know,
Make sure you're
let them know. Sorry.
Well, and the
make
whole thing, if
telling
you got three
right.
people that live in that house and you got one person doing it, the other two are making a job harder for the one person that's trying to do it because the
I'll
other people aren't following through.
I'll video them, or I'll have them video me on their first lesson.
Yeah.
They can go back home and look at what should be done correctly. I
Right.
want y'all going home and screwing up for a week because y'all aren't holding the leash right or you aren't giving your hand commands right. If you need this video, let's go ahead and shoot
Yeah.
video that's not going to work for anybody else's dog because your dog and your dog's relationship requires a special process. And I'm catering to that special process right now. And
That's good.
Yeah.
once you've got that video, then you can
Mhm.
look at that to make sure that
You
you're
always got something to fall back on.
Yeah. I
right.
have some videos I'm going to put on my website and everything, and the one reason I wanted them to watch each other's is that when you're doing it, you can't tell sometimes how your voice sounds. You
Right.
think you're doing it right.
Right. Well,
That's what.
I had one gentleman, he don't understand why I say stay so much. I don't stare at the dog and go, stay, 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 stay. When I first start teaching a stay, I switch hands, stay, and I will not move. Now I'll praise the dog and repeat stay again. And I will not move. After a while, the dog kicks in his head. Wait a minute. He's saying stay. There's that hand signal. And I'm getting a scratch on the head. And I'm not moving. So this must be what
A
stay
good
means.
thing.
Right.
So then I'll sidestep. And then I'll move
Uh-huh.
back. Every time you make a move, you repeat the command until the dog understands that just because you're moving doesn't mean I go with my owner.
Right. I do it
Okay.
once when I'm leaving. Once when
There's a
I get to a spot where I'm going to step out of sight. And then once, whenever I'm coming back to the dog, I remind the dog that, hey,
Right.
your job's not over. Because I'm walking to you doesn't mean the command's finished
And
yet.
I always tell the people, do not stare at your dog.
Right.
Eyes
Yeah.
are so inviting.
But
Mhm.
that's all we got for tonight, folks. So remember, if you liked what you heard, like, share,
Share,
subscribe. Peace out. We'll see you next week. And
Everybody-
good luck.
Yep.
Try that voice tone.
Yes. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.